Hey guys, really appreciate all the support you guys been giving me on YouTube recently. I've been having a ton of fun in Season 9 and hope I can just keep coming out with videos to help you guys learn this game. If you guys want to use code Leon to check out with Focus, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you guys want to go to my Nexus link and support me with buying some yemas, I'd greatly appreciate it. Love you guys.
Side, I think both of these drafts are going to be pretty solid. You want some good competitive Smite action, and I think the Tanuki are going to bring it. That last game went 52 minutes for a reason. Ooh. Both of these teams are reared up and ready to go. No one wants to go home, so they better bring it then.
At this point, no, there's a correction. I think everybody technically does want to go home, just not in the sense of their tournament life being ended at that point there. They definitely want to keep playing on. Maybe at this point, give them a pillow and a blanket so they can take a nap here.
All right, $50,000 are on the line. The people behind us, they don't want to go home. That's what I'm saying.
They don't want to go home. We definitely got a lot of pillows over in the green room. I was debating taking a nap, but
good hit rate, unless the Tanuki pull this one back in a solid 20-minute effort. Myth, are you struggling over there, buddy? We had a squat and a deep breath.
Six God hand, prayers up.
What?
That's a Drake thing.
Yeah, that's not me.
you are absolutely correct. And I don't even want you to pretend that you are Drake in the future.
No, I mean, like, that reference doesn't hit home with me.
You don't listen to Drake?
Oh, some.
That's the guy who did Hotline Bling?
He was the one who sat on the Seattle Space Needle.
He's the guy who was in Degrassi.
I had no idea what you were saying. He was in Degrassi the show.
Yeah.
Which one did Macklemore do? Sit on the Seattle Space Needle? That's what production said. Macklemore also did that. All right,
Macklemore also fell off.
Here's the good news, Myth. We have approximately 50 minutes to talk about whatever we want, and then we'll get
into game 3.
Then we'll get into game number 3. No, we do. Let's break down some of the drafts that we've got here, because we heard a lot of rumbling about double ADC comps coming into this weekend. They may be they might be all the rage coming into this weekend. I've seen a couple of them, and now we get another look at one with Tripno and Hydrogen both playing an ADC for themselves.
Yeah, double ADC drafts have not got the highest win rate this weekend either, so take that with what you will. That said, I think this time around it's a composition that can really make use of Double Hunter. You've got Tripno, who's got percentage damage shred, percentage penetration essentially, every time he applies that stinger. Sada Dragon does the exact same thing with his ultimate, meaning that Tripno, Sada Dragon, and Hydrogen is going to be more effective when they're fighting together. Inherent synergy between those three. The only concern I have for the Yomi Tanuki's draft is their initiation. It's a bit one note come late game. It's generally going to be a blink in from Leon or maybe a pull from Snatty come late, but that's, again, single target for the most part. Whereas on the other side, the Niflheim Wargs have got themselves a much more standard composition, double warrior draft with Sarpe with a highly aggressive early game jungle, great scalers. Spudio on this Chernobog should be able to make impact known come late game, but looking at the Nemesis and what Sarpe was able to do with it in game 1, I'm trying to figure out who's the answer to Nemesis for the Niflheim Wargs. Kana, I suppose, on this King Arthur has got some pretty decent ways to deal with her. The shield really won't get a whole lot of value as long as this King Arthur's looking at her.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking too far ahead. We got to get through this laning phase first. My brain's moving too quick.
You think, and I do, maybe it's an individual matchup. You're right. I don't want to move too far into the team fighting phase, but it did just come to mind. Looking at a King Arthur, maybe even an Osiris, Tripno with that stinger could be super impactful in shutting down Kana. Blue buff invade unsuccessful. Dropped by the Yomi Tanuki. And Snatty will be able to backpedal and pick that one up. Uh-oh, Leon, though, unable to backpedal away in first blood. Over to Spudio and the Niflheim Wargs. Preds on the Terra makes it happen, and Spudio deals the damage.
Yeah, Leon just a little too far up there. Hydrogen tries to up down just appeal. Disperse has the knockback on landing, but doesn't work against Terra when she has any one of her structures up. She is immune to knockbacks and knock-ups, so Pred's able to keep that aggression going. First blood over to Spudio on the Chernobog. That's not exactly what you want to see. When you lock in on her, that is a god that needs to establish pressure in lane. He's not the hardest scaling hunter come late game. No self-stims. It's really about that early game presence. You tick over to level 5, you've got one of the hardest hitting ultimates. And that still is true, but generally you want him establishing pressure first, and, well, it's Chernobog that strikes first.
If we're playing 1v1 rules, Niflheim Wargs only need one more kill or a tower.
Or a tower.
And then the game is over.
That should be an official ruling. Anytime my workday gets over 12 hours, we start running dual rules.
Nah, Miff, you love it. You love it here. You and I sitting on some comfy Maxnomic seats and
God, they
watching
are comfy.
some good Smite. Kana
God, it is
blinks
good.
forward, unable to connect with stun onto Snatty, but does pressure out the Baron Samdi here just a little bit. I do wonder how, because when I was hearing rumblings of Double Hunter, I was assuming there'd be two that can build into that chin size style of build, but we've still seen the return to one Hunter building that more attack speed, chin size, some crit style of build, and then another doing what Tripno, I assume, is going to do this game. Stack up a Transcendence, have a more ability-based build, despite being technically a double hunter. Preds, though, heads over towards mid. Ultimate
whiff.
dropped from Sada Dragon. A slow onto Preds, but a stun onto Sada Dragon means that Sarpei has time to rotate through, but so does Leon. No ultimate for Leon. Otherwise, Sarpei might have been in some trouble. No kills dropping mid.
If Stinger connects onto Preds, Preds is just dead there. Would have caught out that second dash as Kana tries yet again fruitlessly to steal away that blue buff. Keep your eyes here. Spudio's position very aggressive. The runaway? I am so... Hydrogen lost one cool point for running away. He clears the way with ult, pins him to the wall. Spudio's got nothing to fight back with. He's fighting inside of a wave. I think if he just up-downs there, Hydrogen might have found himself a solo kill, or at least pressured him out.
Does it change your mindset on it that Spudio had a completed, not stacked, Devourer's Gauntlet, and Hydrogen was just now able to go back? Like a boxing fight might have been like a half item off for Hydrogen?
Slightly, but even then, I think you still are favoring Hydrogen. That was just insane. Like, you're fighting an entire 9.5 minion wave. These aren't these scrawny 9.4 minions that die to one ability. These are 9.5 minions.
These
They're
aren't
here to
the
help.
tier 2 Hydra's minions. These
No,
are the fully completed Hydra's
A
Lament
spork
minions.
no more. These are trident minions.
We're trident minions. What's the that famous piece of artwork where the guy and his wife are like standing? I'll hold this thought.
That's just called Farmers.
Snatty pulls in. Sarpei, Lord of the Afterlife, doesn't connect on a Snatty. But a little bit more damage would have grabbed a kill there for Sarpei. Snatty's got to back away. An unfortunate teleport used just a few seconds ago means Snatty's going to have to go back and walk back in the lane.
Yeah, I think this is maybe the fatigue setting in. Another dropped kill. Sarpei whiffing the ultimate. Had he connected it, Snatty just dead in that scenario. That said, forcing him back to base after he had just used teleport certainly has value in its own right. Yomi Tanuki's solo laner going to have to spend a little bit more time walking back towards his tower. Thought maybe we'd see Kana try and approach between the towers to slow him down. Instead, just looking towards that blue buff yet again. If he sticks around, though, it's going to be a numbers advantage over to Yomi Tanuki.
Hydrogen and Spudio have shown a little 1v1 potential. Hydrogen walking away from it. Snatty and Kana continue to do some battle over here on right. Kana was happy with the way that Stone of Gaia build went, apparently. We're going to return to it here over on the right side of the map for a little sustain. Might need it now as Leon rotates over with his ultimate. Knock up rocks the Gaia, but doesn't matter. Sada Dragon answers back, an opening kill for the Wargs with a kill of the Tanuki's own, but Tripno rooted in place, unable to escape. Snatty falls for the second, a knock up onto Leon, but a pull on a Sarpei keeps things interesting.
Yeah, that's what happens when you take fights on the side of the map that is opposite the global ultimate. It is always going to be a numbers advantage over to the Niflheim Wargs, who take the advantage in the team fight as well. Spudio makes the trek all the way across the map, jumps into someone's shadow, and then jumps them legitimately, Naomi Tanuki that is. Clean team fight over the Wargs, as they are able to strip away a little bit of that jungle as well. But you spend all that time on the right-hand side, leaves Hydrogen unattended, is able to drop down that red buff, and seems like he's going to make it out with his life.
Sarpei considering a chase down, but ultimately will back away. A slight gold lead now over to the Niflheim Wargs, just shy of about 1,000. Experience, though, dead even. This is the style of gold lead we are playing back and forth with for the first 20 or so minutes of game number 1. And then the Tanuki just skyrocket ahead with some good team fighting, early fire giants, things like that. And ultimately the Wargs able to stem the bleeding a bit and come back there. So nothing that the Tanuki will be too frightful of, especially when you get some stacking going. You got 4 out of 5 stacking items, Devourer's Gauntlet, Thieves, Transcendence, and Warlock Staff all going. Sada Dragon didn't get the memo. We'll stick with the Golden Blade start here Over on the Nemesis, on the flip side, some stacking happening. Anger gets the Charon's coin. Spudio's stacking up that Devourer's Gauntlet as well. So maybe this is the Tanuki saying, all right, let's collectively catch our breath for a little bit here, stack up some of these items, and get going a bit later on.
Considering the pace of
Or
the game,
die.
Tanuki could fight again, and Snatty, it seems like he did not choose this engagement, will fall down. Dragon nearly I'm not sure he can stick this.
Yeah, you gotta be careful here. Dragon with nothing left in the tank could end up getting taken down. Dash away, that one's successful from Kana. And the blink forward from El Leon comes up empty-handed. So the Niflheim Wargs been able to make some plays happen over on right, trying to keep this Baron behind. Luckily for Snatty, teleport up this time, and so you'll be able to teleport back to lane, won't miss out on too much of that experience. But as far as pace setting goes, we're getting more of it from the Niflheim Wargs here in the first few minutes. Certainly happy with the way it's gone.
Still waiting for that first neutral objective to create some actual separation. Despite it being 4-1, the gold still largely even experience. Maybe a larger separator at this point, but even then, individual leads for Yomi Tanuki on parts of the map. Dragon, 1 level up on Sarpei, 1 level advantage to Kana in the solo lane, 1 level in mid to Angry as well, but support Leon ahead for his team.
Hydrogen ulted on by Spudio. Snatty ganked yet again, and an unfortunate death awaits for Baron, who had just used his teleport
Again.
to get back to the right side of the map. Now
Deja
falls
vu.
to 0-3. How many times have we seen this, though? Whether it's a Baron or a Zhang Kui, we have just shoveled all of our resources into killing them over and over and over and over again, and just delaying the scaling as long as possible.
And that's the answer to things like Baron Samdi, though. He doesn't have any way to escape that situation. Every single time he goes into the life of the party, just makes it easier for Sarpei to line up his ult. Preds, though, he's hurt.
Gotta be a kill on the Preds here, but a nice root and an Earthen Fury down, but you are spending a lot of resources on this Terra. Sustain out, but just seems like a matter of time before someone on the Tanuki grabs a kill, and it is Hydrogen back in the kill column, and now actually fully stacking up that Obelisk are the Yomi Tanuki, so they will have a Trebuchet waiting in just a moment. But a nice return kill here for the Tanuki, able to flip the tides just a little bit, but the unfortunate trend has all been going towards the Wargs.
The Wargs having a very good run of the early game so far, but it is just that, the early game. In 9-5, the game is dictated by those first rounds of neutral objectives that generally come around that 16 to 20 minute mark. That said, the first 16 minutes have been spent trying to establish advantage, getting to that point. Niflheim Wargs have done a good job of creating a little bit of separation, but I'd like to see a little bit more. Leverage the leads, play around your advantages. Angry now 2 levels up over Tripno on mid. This Tiamat has gone uncontested so far this game. Dragon very content to play around the side lanes rather than in that mid 3v3, perhaps is what got him this lead. Dragon been spending a lot of time in the jungle, but Angry is a looming threat that needs to be addressed eventually.
Look, we know that Tripno is going to scale just fine on this AMC. We have seen what late game full rotation damage does from a full ability-based build from an AMC. A 2-level lead in the solo lane means more of this, unfortunately, for Snatty. Ooh, forced into life for the party. Unlucky as now a stun and a slow and a swipe. Nearly grabs a kill. Hydrogen, though, run down by Sarpei. The Wargs, tired of waiting, taking this game over. But the Tanuki, can you answer back with an objective of your own? Preds close by, but Preds cannot steal it. Leon stunned in place. A root down from Preds as well. As Dragon returns his ultimate to the Terra. Pull back through from Leon. Spin to win, spin to disengage from Kana. As Preds actually taking a heap of damage here. One last auto is in, and Leon snags it. And so suddenly Pyromancer for a kill, but it is traded out for a Gold Fury.
Wow, that was a lot to digest inside of that small microcosm of this match, but small micro plays, I think, are where the highlights are going to be. Kana stunned Dragon inside of the lava pools, could have potentially turned that kill around. Snatty decides not to rotate, so is able to close up that level gap slightly. And in pulling the Pyromancer, the Niflheim Wargs find themselves a little bit of global golden experience. Yomi Tanuki, though, take notice and decide to push out the opposite side of the map after getting a small skirmish win up against Hydrogen in the lane. Spudio now, similarly, about a level and a half lead on his contemporaries. The Niflheim Wargs do not have anywhere to push their aggression now, though. Even though the objectives are split, I think you might favor the Tanuki in that trade, just because now the Niflheim Wargs have nowhere to force the Tanuki to dig in their heels and defend. At this far down, experience will largely equalize as long as you're able to clear out your own side of the jungle.
Right.
The Tanuki very happy that they're not going to be forced into another fight for at least a couple of minutes.
Need all of the time to scale up as they can get because Snatty has been run down. Life of the party and Eleon make things a little more difficult for the Wargs, and right on time, Snatty receives some help, and down goes Kana. You love the kill onto the Baron, but you'll get it any way you can get it, and the Tanuki turn 2 kills over on right.
Sarpei, I do not think has landed an ultimate just yet on Snatty. If he's done so, would have been 2 kills, both dropped now and is turned
But it's
around
hard
entirely.
it's hard on a Baron, man. It's hard to land it all onto a Baron.
What are you saying to me right now?
It's hard to hit a Lord of the Afterlife on the Baron, man.
I literally just made the point that when he's party godding, he's so easy to kill.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm kidding.
Oh, you're schmeeming me.
I don't know what that means. I'm memeing you.
It's like schmoves.
Well, I don't know what that is either.
It's like moving, but with sauce.
That's
Stop
not me.
laughing at me.
That's not me. I was really hoping that the green goblet was gonna be up over here on the left side of the map.
I thought you were talking
it
about
is.
Spider-Man's anime.
All right. So you're. I guess the camera has to get close enough to it. Over there by the harpy pit. A nice. Yeah, that right there. Are you taking a drink out of that?
What?
Are you taking a drink
I'm
out of
dipping my head in there for sure. That looks like Baja Blast.
You're laughing
I'm a
because
gamer.
you can't fathom a world where you're not drinking out of
If
it?
anybody in chat said they're not dunking their head and slurping, they're liars.
Oh my God! Without a moment's hesitation.
No, I'm not even
dunking
smelling
yourself
first.
in the neon green goblet that's just chilling. That's like one of those traps that you use. You put a stick on a box with like a string attached to it. It's like so obviously a trap.
Because it's appetizing, right? That's why it would work as a trap.
Right,
And
so
I've
you're
been
getting
appetized.
trapped. So you're getting trapped is my point.
Yeah, I want that.
Look at it.
It's worth it.
All right.
My loose tether to the mortal coil means less to me than one stiff sip from that cauldron.
Yeah, but depending on how strong it is, that stiff sip could knock you over. And
That's fine. I'm already in the trap.
Yeah, you're right. You're in the box anyway, right? The guy snickering with a string and a stick, ready to capture you. All right, I just wanted your take on it. And a definitive yes from Niflheim. We're drinking the Baja Blast, the mystery liquid, on the left side of the map. Can't ask a similar question over here on right. Solo laners get it rough. No moral life
drinks.
questions. But it is Baron, so there is a Baron's brew happening over on right, but not quite the same. That's very conditional as to what is going on in the game. You were right, though, Miff. The reason we're able to talk about this is because the game has slowed down a bit.
Wow, way to tie it in. That's good.
You're welcome. I have to do it. Luckily for the Yomi Tanuki, despite being the pace setters of the last couple of minutes, and I think that's right on time for Snatty. The level lead hasn't quite gotten better, but the fact that Snatty has been able to chill, get a couple of assists, farm up in that lane, definitely a boon to the Tanuki cause.
Yeah, Breastplate of Valor is going to make it much more difficult for anybody to dive him inside of that tower. The additional CDR might just be enough with the healing to offset some of that damage coming his way, but it's also defense, and he's also moving into a helmet. It's also a double physical, solo, and jungle. Snatty may have got that defense a little too late, as he's already 0-3 in this lane, but better late than never. We'll have a little bit more survivability in the coming fights. And that'll be coming pretty shortly as Pyromancer and Oni Fury are on the respawn. They're on the mend.
But it's a different instance of, like, they're just being replaced. It's not the same one that's now healed up.
I like to imagine the different versions of the Fury are the same guy coming back later in a different outfit.
I like to imagine my Fury in a tuxedo laying in his crib because, you know, he's a baby, but he likes to party. Tell me you get that.
I have no clue what
I
you're
like
saying.
to imagine my baby Jesus in a tuxedo. And
Oh, okay.
just wrapped in his manger.
Is that B99?
No.
Is that It's Always Sunny?
It's Talladega Nights.
Oh my God. I've never seen that actually.
You're kidding.
I'm so serious.
Man. All right, well, we have seen Prez get ulted a few times, and we have seen Sada Dragon knock down 3 kills in a row. Lord of the Afterlife. This time onto a couple, but Sada Dragon able to limp away from the fight. Another opening pick for the Yomi Tanuki, and the kills have been equalized, and the gold very, very close to being equalized as well.
As has the experience, dare I say it, 18 minutes into this game, we are approaching the second wave of objectives from a dead even state. It is so hard to establish a lead and hold on to it nowadays. These teams so adept at keeping these things interesting. Speaking of interesting, Oni Fury pulled out, should be answered quickly by Pyromancer on the other side. Could have been an opportunity to potentially even look at the Fire Giant, but I suppose only 3 members from the Niflheim Wargs on the right will not feel confident in their ability to do so. That said, Yomi Tanuki have been able to at least match the objective pressure of the Niflheim Wargs and continue their onslaught across the map. This Tier 1 tower is unprotected.
One on the left is protected by Spudio. Mid lane Tier 1 falls, right side Tier 1 falls as well. Kind of will shove up these waves. Snatty has maintained a steady 2-level deficit.
Goodness.
So now Sada Dragon at double dash and blink covers the ground from Pyromancer to the back of FG, and Sarpei could not answer fast enough. Leon has been on point with these pulls, but unfortunately Life of the Party will not bring Kana back to death. And so Leon able to separate the gap a little bit, and Leon deserves every ounce of credit in the world. We have put eyes on Sada Dragon, but Leon has been in range as well on all of these fights, both of the 2 players, jungle and support, carrying around a 100% kill participation.
That's the meme, man. Jungles and supports just got the biggest brains because they get their hands in the most cookie pots, and that's what's happened so
Because they
far.
dunk their head in the most Baja Blast.
Dude, it's just actual factual, man. It's called, well, it's not called Gamer Fuel. That's like a different thing. Either way, ask me a question about the game. I can't figure out what to talk about on my own.
I was just talking about how Sada Dragon and Leon.
They both got involved, and I said they're sipping Baja.
Do you have actual analysis to apply to those 2, or are we moving on entirely?
Yeah, let's take me somewhere else.
All right, we can segue on.
Mulligan.
We'll get a breakfast ball, right? We'll get to swing on something else here, and I want to look at how the scaling has continued out of the mid lane here. Charon's coin, some flat pen, and a Soul Reaver, plus Tier 2 Obshard, much better looking at least than Tier 2 Hydras. On the flip side, though, Tripno has done some scaling as well. Fully stacked Transcendence, Brawler's Beatstick, Heartseeker, and then does look like a little attack speed built into that build as well. Both mid laners hitting some important power spike items.
Yeah, I am curious to see which bow Tripno elects to pick up. I would think Odysseus bow would go a long way against this triple blink composition. Odysseus bow essentially the item of, hey, if you're anywhere near your own teammates, you're not allowed to use that relic as the damage will spread to you. Speaking of, Spudio now in some trouble, will be forced to retreat to the air.
Buys time.
Meets up with Snatty.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't know Snatty was over in mid.
And he missed literally every ability and nearly died to Spudio.
But he didn't. He didn't die.
He
That's
sure
the point.
didn't.
Now this is a collapse in. I mean, the Yomi Tanuki have to see this coming. Earthen Fury down. Oh my God! Preds melts when you get a stinger and an ultimate from a Nemesis and a Desert Fury. Yeah, you're not living through much of anything, and Preds learns that the hard way. The Yomi Tanuki have eyes for kills and have eyes for a Tier 2 tower.
Yeah, Preds wishing he had bought anything besides defense because he's not allowed to utilize it whatsoever when Yomi Tanuki are grouped up like this. Left side Phoenix being approached. This is a very quick pace. 15 seconds left on Preds respawn. 5 versus 4.
Snatty into Life of the Party. Sarpei, Lord of the Afterlife, away. Left side Phoenix melting through at 21 minutes. A fast pace.
They got it.
For a Phoenix to go down, and Phoenix does go down. Can you cleanly disengage? You need to make it worth. Kana blinks into 4. Leon disengages the back of the fight, but damage has connected onto the King Arthur, but not enough to get the kill. Sarpei remedies that onto Tripno, and the opening kill, the only kill of this fight, is onto the Tanuki mid.
If it's only one that falls, Yomi Tanuki come out far and away ahead at being able to strip away that left side Phoenix Fire Giant. Going to be that much easier to go for as those fire minion waves leak their way down the left side of the map. The Niflheim Wargs would have liked very much so to have chased that out a little bit further, but the damage return was too strong, and Yomi Tanuki are able to disengage. Now it's all about map state advantage. It's a conversation we were having 30 minutes ago, 50 minutes into game 1. Now we're having the exact same conversation 22 minutes into game 2, favoring Yomi Tanuki. They're in a very good position to leverage this double hunter composition. These style of drafts with double hunter are always much, much better from ahead. They fall off significantly when they have to defend, but if you're the aggressor onto an objective, you're going to shred that objective very quickly, and you'll shred any tanks that walk up too. We saw it earlier. Preds might as well have not built defense if Sada Dragon and Tripno are around. Same could be said of Kana, but it's only Sada Dragon around.
Sada Dragon does ult Kana, but Kana able to back away from it just fine. Snatty is maintained that 2-level deficit, hasn't gotten worse, so we'll be catching up experience-wise here in just a few moments' time when Kana reaches level 20. And Leon has been on a breakneck pace as far as supports go and their experience. Level 18, while the Niflheim Wargs have a couple members at level 19, so do the Yomi Tanuki in a couple of their roles. Pred's 4 levels behind as far as supports go.
Just chasing.
And Leon maintains his 100% kill participation. Why not? This Tanuki team is ruthless here in game number 2. Gold Fury still stands, but not for much longer. No answer from the Wargs, and a big gold lead now built up for the Tanuki.
Yeah, that's what a triple auto attacker, double hunter composition can do to these objectives, which is why I was so surprised to see Yomi Tanuki not try and pull out the Fire Giant immediately. Left side mini waves have been pushed up very well by the Niflheim Wargs, so if this fight does go relatively quickly around the Pyro, around the Fire Giant, the Wargs won't have to concern themselves. But the longer Yomi Tanuki keep pressure on this side of the map, the more pressure is going to build up on the left side. But it's the Niflheim Wargs who steal away the Pyromancer. Preds able to take that with the wall clap. That said, Pyromancer really only benefiting with that passive as of now.
Now that brings the gold back closer to even. The Niflheim
Oh,
Wargs
literally dead even.
get back into this game.
Wow.
Actually kind of does. Experience, though, way in the favor of the Niflheim Wargs at this point. Again, that is the solo and mid separation that's been happening, and Leon not able to close up that gap just yet, despite being a few levels ahead. Niflheim Wargs.
3.
Yeah, 3.
Wow.
A few is 3.
You're right. A couple.
Oh, you were surprised.
Yeah,
by,
I was just surprised by how ahead he was.
Gotcha. Not the fact that I used few.
No, you're being real self-conscious and weird right now.
That's on me. You're gaslighting me. Oh God! I don't know how to cast anymore. It's the worst. Kana gets run down, but not taken down. The last of Desert Fury won't be there, and an ult in from Spudio never arrives because
Wait,
Spudio
what?
is taking down the left side Phoenix.
Is that allowed?
All this time, apparently it is. Now the Yomi Tanuki need to grab a kill to make this feel worthwhile, and they do. Sarpei is the one who goes down for the 3rd time this game, but Spudio able to solo push down a left side tier 2 and a Phoenix.
Yeah, but Spudio not being a part of that fight is what cost Sarpei his life. Had the Niflheim Wargs been 5 stacked, maybe they would not have lost him. Fire Giant now, the eye of aggression of Yomi Tanuki, and they've only got 4 members of the Niflheim Wargs to slow him down. Snatty, acting as a roving ward, will connect with Kana, and Fire Giant will connect with a whole lot of damage.
Surely Preds doesn't steal this one away, right? Okay, good. So Preds, it made it interesting though. Blinks forward, unable to get the steal, and the Yomi Tanuki get by our metrics an early Fire Giant at 26 minutes and pull the biggest, earliest lead we've seen so far, just over 1,000 gold.
Now they can start to push down that left side lane yet again. Left Phoenix has respawned for the Niflheim Wargs, and the Yomi Tanuki have lost theirs, so they want to contend with these fire minion waves first. Then they can start to look elsewhere on the map. Luckily for the Yomi Tanuki, if they push up to that Phoenix and struggle to finish it off, Primal Fury will be respawning very shortly, so there are fallback options for the Order side. We got to talk about the siege defense potential of the Niflheim Wargs, though, and it's pretty high. One of the best counter-engage gods in the game is this Terra, so she should be able to keep her team re-sustained, potentially reapply some burst damage to Yomi Tanuki. Angry on a traditional mage and Tiamat should be able to keep these minion waves at bay with relative ease. And if the fight extends past that point, Yomi Tanuki have not got the best disengage options. Snatty, Tripno, both largely immobile gods and both great targets for the Niflheim Wargs. I think the Wargs defense looks best as long as they can elongate the fight. Yomi Tanuki would love these engagements to go very, very quickly. It's the initial siege attempt that I'm most interested in from this Order side.
A crumb of damage from the Wargs onto the tier 2 tower of the Tanuki over in solo lane, as the rest of the Tanuki group up and send their eyes left. Over in mid, Sada Dragon on the Nemesis, still 4-0-5. Initiation out from Snatty. No one pulled in to stun. Kana has found Tripno though, and so is the damage. Double stun onto the AMC, who is able to speed away thanks to the sprint, but the relic situation dire for the Yomi Tanuki for the rest of this FG.
Man, Snatty is just not connecting with these ultimates. I'm not even sure what the thought process is right there. Just walks up to the Phoenix line and says, all right, come here.
Yeah.
Every ability is still up for the Niflheim Wargs. There's no world where Snatty finds anything of value there unless you're willing to count one leap, and that's essentially all he gets. Niflheim Wargs maintaining their base. Yomi Tanuki have been stuck here for a little while. The longer this goes, the better it is for the Wargs.
Leon, no good on the pull. Will have to back his way away. Close to having his ultimate back. Snatty is as well. 50% on both Tripno and Leon's ultimate. 50% on the Earthen Fury as well. Wargs would love to fight around that ultimate on their side. Just needs a couple auto attacks. This left side Phoenix does, but just hasn't been there. Another life for the party. This time dashed through by Kana. A leap out from Hydrogen. And he'll survive the onslaught this time, but Snatty will not. And the Baron hasn't quite hit its mark. An ultimate down from Sada Dragon onto Sarpei, and the Niflheim Wargs, they smell blood in the water.
Niflheim Wargs on the chase. The 4-stack from the Tanuki caught in a corridor. Great stun.
Bob and Leon, he's got some peel on the back of the fight with the knockup, but Sarpei able to dash forward. Hydrogen has to leap away. Leon left to die, and the Yomi Tanuki will not knock down the Phoenix, and the Niflheim Wargs will strip away FG from 2.
If the Niflheim Wargs keep up their aggression, Sada Dragon might look to make the exact play Spudio did earlier.
Sarpei is going mid.
If he goes right, he walks on a ward. If he goes too far left, he's shown on wave. This is the only spot Sada Dragon can stand, and he sneaks past.
He'll get it. Sada Dragon knocks down the ward and actually doesn't look for the Phoenix, not knowing where Sarpei is. And instead, the Niflheim Wargs will send their eyes to the left Phoenix, and they will get the left Phoenix. There they go. Knock it down. Wondered if Sada Dragon was able to walk in and deal enough damage there. But I suppose not knowing where Sarpei is, it's a heavy risk. You don't want to fully stagger out your team. And chooses instead just to clear the ward.
Yeah, once Sada Dragon realizes he's on top of a ward, says, okay, well, if somebody is nearby, they're stopping me no matter what. I've only got a vision on a couple, so decides to disengage, and probably the right call to make. Looking at the builds, though, I think Sada Dragon might even have the advantage in 1v1 up against Sarpei, as long as you can kill him before the tether procs its stun. So, neither here nor there on that call. I think good to not risk it. If Sada Dragon does die, it's very likely the Niflheim Wargs will get a lot more value on that siege, likely knocking down both towers in mid, so does not take the risky play. That said, the Niflheim Wargs are still in the exact same position they were last time around on this Fire Giant dance. Left side Phoenix down for Yomi Tanuki, and that's just about it. The minion wave's not pushed up either. It's just Snatty on the left. Will benefit from teleport, should be able to join his team if the defense calls for it. Niflheim Wargs, though, will take notice. They have seen Snatty on the map now. It's just about how well they're able to dance around this aggression, how well they're able to bait out Yomi Tanuki. Sada Dragon, far forward, meets up with Sarpei, is able to disengage.
Bubble does not get popped. Important for the Nemesis to hold on to that. Snatty will continue to push down the left side of the map. Fire Giant considered by the Niflheim Wargs. This one enhanced. You need to teleport into this one if you're Snatty, if you're the Tanuki, if you want to fight it. And Snatty is teleporting in to the fight on the right side. Fire Giant low on the right side. Fire Giant stolen by the Tanuki.
Wow.
But the fight after the fact, not looking too bad just yet for the Wargs. First kill won't fall. First kill does fall. And it's Hydrogen knocking down the first pin. The second pin is Spudio. Hydrogen's got a double. Could be more on the other end. Is Angry melted on. Tripno's got a double. Double ADC. Hello, I've come to play. On to game 3 we go.
Yomi Tanuki make it all in one fell swoop. Do not make us wait another 20 minutes for the end of this one. Fire Giant on 5, and all 5 incredibly healthy. The Niflheim Wargs just stack up too much inside of the Fire Giant pit, and the Yomi Tanuki are not a team that you are allowed to make that mistake against. Mid Phoenix, the only thing standing between this squad and a game 3, and it's going to be 30 seconds on the respawn. They can take a victory lap first.
Niflheim Wargs, they had to watch their Titan go down. The Titan is tankier, but not tanky enough to delay the end of this game. And in 32 minutes after a 52-minute game 1, the Yomi Tanuki will send us on to a game number 3. There was only one way that this day was ending, Mifflin, and it was with one more game 3. And the Yomi Tanuki, and how impactful this is.